Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 8 of Troy Talks. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. Want to also say thank you for future shares and future listeners. My name is Troy Holt. I own a company called Troy Holt Consulting, LLC in Pensacola. My podcast is in the areas of marketing, and that's relationship and incentive marketing, also financial services and leadership. Today, I want to talk on the subject. It's entitled Impact or Income. Impact or income. Now, when we think about income, one of the main or major goals of any business is to generate income. Now, I heard somebody say the main purpose of a business is not necessarily to make money, but to solve problems. We know that if a business does not generate or produces the income, that business can eventually fail. So we are aware of that. So we don't want to we don't want to make light of income. That's what pay the bills, pay the salaries, keep the business in the operation. But we want to look at another side that I think could make it maybe even long term, whereas the income could be a short term goal and a long term, but the long term will be the impact. Now, the word impact, it is defined as to influence or to affect. And when we think about impact, we can think about some great examples of people that's not even here. Take, for an example, Henry Ford, who started the Ford company, the T model Ford, way back, years ago, and still the impact from the early 1900s up until the 2000s. Another example we can look at is Apple and Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is passed, but Apple still has a profound effect. People still running to buy those Apple phones when they come out. And so it still has this lasting impact. Now, we want a business to make money, to generate income, but we also want it to have an impact. Now, let's think about what an impact can do. Now, someone said this. They said that a business can have an impact in 3 ways. One, it can create passive income. There's an author. He talked about this author, Stephen Covey, and he wrote a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This book has sold over 25 million copies, and it's still a top book. When a person releases a book or a movie, it can have an impact even after they have passed. Stephen Covey has passed, and his book still has a huge impact. Now, also, a business, the impact can build a brand and the business. Think about Microsoft. Think about, we mentioned Henry Ford. Think about Coca-Cola. The name, it's a lasting impact name. You could go almost international, and people identify with those names. So the brand, it makes the impact of the name because of that particular business. And in the world of entrepreneurship today, there are many business, and many of them are selling similar products. So how do they differentiate themselves? Where it's their branding, it's making an impact. Don't be a copy or a clone, but be yourself. But also, you do have to follow some principles, but you want to have a I can't even say the word difference. I always mess up that word. Also, number 3, and this is the big one for me here. The impact can change lives. A person, he mentioned number 1, it it can be where it's passive income. Number 2, build a brand. And number 3, changing lives. I think that's the biggest one. See, changing lives, when a person leaves off the scene, you're leaving a legacy. And you want to be able to have a business that can leave a legacy, whereas that legacy goes for generations. It's just not just money, but it's a legacy, a name. And then that legacy allows them to start scholarships and invest in people, and their name is all over because they are changing lives. And so we want to look at those is important. Income, yes, is important, but making an impact is one of the greatest things. And me personally, I said this. I said, when I leave off the scene, when I pass, and people come to my funeral and they talk, I want them to. One of the things I want them to say is, Troy always try to make an impact. He always try to make a difference. And sometimes impact for us can be small things. They can create a small gesture can create a big impact. And it doesn't always have to be income generated or have to spend a lot of money, but just the small things can make a big impact. So that's what I wanted to share with you today, an impact or income. Look at both. Both are important, but the impact is going to create long-term income and growth and a legacy. Again, thank you for listening to this particular podcast, an impact or an income. Also, you can find me on LinkedIn at Troy Holt, Holt. You can also find me on Facebook at Troy Holt, and that's Holt. You can also find me on Instagram at Troy Talks. That's Troy_Talks. And also you can find me on Twitter or Troy Talks, Troy_Talks. Or you can also email me at Troy Holt Consulting LLC, or reach out to me, DM me. I would love to connect with you, talk with you, discuss this more. Please share. Thank you for listening and have a great day.